You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the Quapaw Nation hosts a STEAM fair in hopes of engaging kids in education.
In Kansas, Governor Laura Kelly announces a $2 billion chip plant coming to Kansas to help with the ongoing chip shortage.
And while we've got a pretty decent start for our day, we are looking at the possibility of some thunderstorms headed into tomorrow morning. We'll break down your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Authorities say an Ottawa County, Oklahoma pastor accused of sexually assaulting a juvenile was physically assaulted by a member of the victim's family. Court records say 42-year-old Fred Gammon Jr. of Miami is charged with child sex abuse. Authorities say the abuse allegedly began when Gammon became the pastor of Wayside Assembly of God Church in Wyandotte. Gammon is free on bail, and the Miami police chief says a relative of the victim attacked Gammon, hitting him several times. The Quapaw Nation hosted a STEAM fair to encourage local youth to engage in education. Officials with the nation want to celebrate and encourage students to enter and participate in the fields of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Participants from several area tribes participated and showed their peers their research or presentation.
Because the 5 areas that we're talking about, the science, technology, engineering, art, and math, these are all areas that, in order to succeed in today's world, these are areas that kids need. They need these areas in their furthering not only their education, but in everyday life.
There will be an award luncheon for participants and 2 guests of their choice on Wednesday at Downstream Casino. Here's Chris.
Yeah, we're watching wind gusts today pushing 20, 30, potentially even upwards of 40 miles an hour as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. And those winds will be gusty as we head through today, tonight, tomorrow night, and into Thursday as well. We're also looking at midnight, 1 a.m., maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm across the area. And then we get a better line of showers and thunderstorms developing across southeast Kansas. And that'll start to roll through about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Here we are at 7, still showers and thunderstorms ongoing. And you can see the leading edge from Osceola, Lamar, Joplin, Miami, back down to Afton. Still some showers and storms on the back side of it, maybe a few more tomorrow afternoon, but those ones will be a little bit calmer. However, the morning storms, we do have an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms for the folks highlighted in yellow. And with that, we have the possibility of some straight line damaging winds. We also have a low risk for an isolated tornado or 2. It's a pretty low risk, but it's not 0, so it's something that we are definitely going to keep an eye on out there. Across the region, here's what we've got in Joplin right now, 41 degrees. We've got the clouds already starting to build in across the area. I'm taking a look around the region real quick. 37 Iola, 35 Miami, 42 Neosho, and 41 in Carthage. As you get your day started, it'll be gusty, cloudy, and up to 54 by 11 o'clock. We'll have more on your forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A homegrown company in Kansas is taking on the challenge of producing more computer chips in the United States. The company is called EMP Shield, and it's investing nearly $2 billion in the expansion. The goal is to produce thousands of computer chips per week and create 1,200 new jobs. Lane Gillespie reports.
Governor Kelly joined EMP Shield in Coffee County to announce plans for a 300-acre semiconductor facility.
I'm proud to announce that EMP Shield plans to invest $1.9 billion in a computer chip production facility that will create thousands of chips per week, and with it create 1,200 new jobs.
The company hopes to get support from the Federal CHIPS Act, which calls for computer chips that affect everyday life and national security to be made in the United States. Governor Kelly says most chips used in cell phones, cars, or even national defense systems are currently made in China.
It means that both our national defense systems and the goods and services Americans rely upon are vulnerable to the whims of the Chinese Communist Party.
EMP Shield founder Tim Carty says he's excited for the new partnership.
We are excited to expand EMP Shield using gallium nitride for produced chips. We have the number of advantages. We have efficiency, speed, higher power density, and smaller packaging.
The company is also collaborating with area schools in their workforce development programs to help high school grads and those with 2-year degrees to train and earn a job, helping them stay in Kansas.
We will grow a diverse workforce in Kansas, and our workforce will represent the most well-trained professionals and support staff in the semiconductor industry.
Young, curious Kansans who are interested in STEM or who want to learn more about technology will have more opportunities than ever before to get themselves straight from their K-12 education into an industry-driven associate's degree program or certificate program and into a great job right here in Coffee County.
Well, coming up, you know what sounds good? That's right, chili. Lily Moore stops in to tell us all about Vita Nova Village's upcoming chili cook-off.
And later, a man turns his Hot Wheels collection into a museum. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, many parents give fever-reducing medication to their kids way too quickly, and that's according to a new national poll by C.S. Mott Children's Hospital. The poll was conducted with more than 1,300 parents with kids under the age of 12. Researchers found that 1 in 3 parents give their kids the medicine for a low-grade fever, which is below 100 degrees. Now, 1 in 2 parents would use it for a fever below 102 degrees. Now, pediatricians warn against using fever reducers in these ways because they say the medicine hides the true problem, the cause of the fever. The poll also says about 26% of parents will even give a second dose of the medicine to prevent a fever. Pediatricians say to avoid doing that also. Now, chronic pain is linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia, and that's according to a study published Monday in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PNAs. The study found people who walked with purpose at a pace over 40 steps a minute were able to cut their risk of dementia by 57% by taking just 6,300 steps a day. But for those who suffered from chronic pain like arthritis, cancer, or back pain, hippocampus of the brain aged by about a year in a 60-year-old person compared with people with no pain. The risk posed as the number of pain sites in the body increased. Millions of people provide unpaid care to an adult in the U.S., and research suggests that number has skyrocketed over the years. Caregiving can be hard on everyone involved. Mandy Gaither has ways to support someone who is taking care of a loved one.
It can be a challenging role and one that's absolutely necessary, but being a caregiver isn't always easy.
Their role is 24/7. They often receive very little break.
A 2020 report that comes out every 5 years shows nearly 1 in 5 people in the U.S. are providing unpaid care to an adult with health or functional needs. The data shows 23% of caregivers report finding it difficult to care for their own health and finances. 45% have said they've suffered at least one financial impact because of caring for another.
In cases of dementia caregiving, the journey can be especially long, and with that can come increased chronic stress and greater responsibility.
Clinical psychologist Lucille Carrier with Cleveland Clinic says we can support caregivers by talking to them about their needs. If possible, offer help, whether it's a break or time away from their duties.
Self-care can come in a lot of different forms.
And it's crucial for caregivers. Carrier says they often find it hard to carve out time for themselves, but she says to start small.
Maybe we take just a few minutes for a walk, or maybe we call a friend, or maybe you turn on a mindfulness app and practice a little bit of relaxation.
Carrier says those small changes can make a big difference in a caregiver's life.
The psychologist says caregivers should take advantage of resources available to them. That includes helplines and centers working with their loved one's medical team or talking with a social worker, mental health provider, or a support group.
We got 2 big weather stories for us as we go through today into tomorrow night, and into Thursday, at least the first half of Thursday. We're looking at wind gusts 20, 30, possibly upwards of about 40 miles an hour. So be prepared for that. Then the other story that we're watching closely is showers and thunderstorms. Now, early tomorrow morning, we're talking or late tonight, your view. Midnight, 1 a.m., scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. Then we'll see a bigger line of showers and thunderstorms start to develop around 4 o'clock across southeast Kansas. By the time we get to 5 a.m., you can see more widespread showers and storms, and they'll continue to move on off to the east. And these storms could be strong to severe. And you can see some of these strong storms still ongoing at 7 a.m. from Osceola, Lamar, Joplin, Miami, Grove, Afton. So we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the KOAM Morning News tomorrow for you. Still some showers and thunderstorms on the backside of that, and then maybe a few more in the afternoon. Once we clear out, though, we're looking pretty good, and we stay quite mild, but we also stay breezy with those winds blowing 40, 50 miles an hour in some cases tomorrow. Elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms for those highlighted in yellow. Primary threat here is looking to be damaging straight line winds, although an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. It's a low risk, but it's not zero. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good. We see a few of those clouds out there now at 7th and range line. We're at 41 in Joplin with a calm breeze, but that of course is going to change. Across the area, we're 39 in Chanute, 39 Chatopa, 35 Miami, 42 Neosho, and 41 in Carthage. As you get your day started, mostly cloudy, breezy, temperatures warming into the mid-50s by about 11 o'clock. We're looking at highs about 65. Some of us could even get into the upper 60s, mostly cloudy and of course breezy. We stay breezy heading into tonight. However, early low of 57, say about 4 or 5 o'clock, and temperatures will turn around and start to warm up through the evening up to 63 by 10 tonight. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back. I've got Lily Moore in studio with us this morning, here to talk about an upcoming chili cook-off this weekend. But first, I want to talk about what this chili cook-off is for Vita Nova Village Mission.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard about Vita Nova Village, we are a nonprofit based in Joplin, Missouri, based and founded in Joplin, Missouri. Our founders really saw the rise of housing increasing disproportionately to the increase of income. So with that, there is an increase of homelessness, and our mission is to provide homeless individuals with a private living space so they could focus on employment, targeted education, whatever that individual needs most. We would like to focus and have individual cases for every resident of the village. So our mission is to provide private living space. One huge goal of ours is to remain non-government funded, so we really need support from the community in these events like the chili cook-off this weekend. So
yeah, let's talk about the chili cook-off. So it's on the 25th.
At Joplin Greenhouse in Joplin, Missouri. If you haven't heard of Joplin Greenhouse, I don't know where you've been, but the cook-off is this Saturday at 5:30. You can still register to bring chili. Just email Rhonda. The email's right there. It's rhonda@vitannovavillage.com, and you are more than welcome to bring baked goods for the auction. And the entrance is $10 for an adult or $5 for children.
That's just people that want to come and eat.
Yes, and to register to cook, no fee. There are prizes involved, so that's kind of fun. And we will be tasting the chili, eating your favorite chili, and it's just going to be a fun, community-driven event to raise funds toward our mission.
And that's this Saturday, 5:30?
At Joplin Greenhouse, 2820 East 32nd Street. We share a parking lot with Food for Less.
Okay, back to the Vita Nova Village. I'm trying to vision what your end game, what the goal is. Are we looking to build private spaces all in one area?
So think like a tiny home village. Each tiny home is every resident's private living space. Our goal is to start with anywhere from 6 to 30 tiny homes based off of how many funds we raise and the property that we acquire. We're still in the works of that, but we've had a lot of exciting things happen in the past few months. So please follow our Facebook, Instagram accounts, and you can keep up with the behind the scenes of what we're doing and how we're really working towards that common goal of helping the homeless community.
Well, and if you would like to get involved with this mission as well, this weekend is a great way to network with
yes.
that and to
I'm glad you brought that up.
Share ideas.
Maybe you don't like chili, maybe you don't have time to bake chili, but you are interested about what we're working towards, please come out and talk to Rhonda or myself. We'd be more than welcome to give you more details. If you're interested in volunteering or getting involved in some way, we can also connect you in that aspect. But right now we're really just trying to get our mission and our name out there and kind of tell people what we're about, to get people on board. I think as soon as we start talking to people about what our mission is and why we're really wanting to do this, I could sit here all day and talk about it, but you can see people's eyes light up and realize that there's so many reasons to just get behind our mission. It would be great for the community. It's going to be great for the homeless community. I could go on and on.
All right. Well, you can do more on this, have more on this discussion if you show up on Saturday at Joplin Greenhouse, 5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. Yep. The coffee bar will be open, so you can get coffee, chili, anything you want.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Lily.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
I really appreciate it.
A Maryland man turns his Hot Wheels hobby into a museum, collecting thousands of the toy cars that's now a $1 million collection.
Jacqueline Matter has more.
Floor-to-ceiling walls full of Hot Wheels line this 4,000 square foot facility. Let's take a look inside one of the most valuable Hot Wheels collections in the world. By day, Bruce Pascal is a commercial real estate agent in the nation's capital. By night, he's a Hot Wheels hobbyist with more than 7,000 items in his collection.
To put it mildly, I'm obsessed with Hot Wheels.
At 7 years old, he got his first Hot Wheel in 1968, the same year they were created. 55 years later, he's still buying them.
My mother gave me back my Hot Wheels as a kid that I played with in 1999.
Okay.
And I was with a buddy of mine, and he said, I'll give you $200 for them. I was like, oh, these have value?
From there, the love for the tiny and intricate toys consumed him.
Nothing's better than collecting something you have a connection with. And the fact that I'm collecting my childhood toys, it's kind of fun.
One of his prized possessions, a 1913 Model T that was used as inspiration for Mattel.
This won America's Most Beautiful Roadster. So Hot Wheels made this into a Hot Wheel called the Hot Heap. Oh. So there is that toy car that was modeled after the original car.
Among the $1.5 million collection, there's blueprints of original sketches.
Well, here is the original blueprint for the 1968 Corvette that came out of Mattel. So to me, these are like the holy grail of paper documents.
Wooden prototypes, even items sold overseas.
In Germany, they weren't called Hot Wheels, they were called Heiss Rider.
Plus, one of the world's rarest Hot Wheels car ever created, the Volkswagen Pink Beach Bomb prototype.
And they discovered it fell down off the tracks. So they decided to re-engineer it and sell a different version to the public. So this is a prototype. It's considered the rarest Hot Wheel in the world.
While some items are extremely rare and can rack up a high price tag, Pascal says the toys really have stood the test of time.
When Hot Wheels first came out, they were under $1. They were 69 cents, 79 cents, and this is in 1968. Today, you can buy a Hot Wheel at a grocery store or at a store for like $1.19 or $1.29. It's like inflation never hit it.
So what does Pascal's family think of all this?
They think I'm crazy, but they know I have a fun time, and it is a lot of fun. Once you get into a hobby, it's not just the toys you collect, it's also the people and the friends you meet all around the world.
He hopes by showing the world his collection, he can pass on his love of Hot Wheels to younger generations.
Do you know how many kids come here with their case of cars already and they want to trade with me? And I always have fun. And any kid who leaves always leaves with a few Hot Wheels.
Pascal says he occasionally will open up the Hot Wheels Museum on Sunday afternoons for kids to come and play or adults to reminisce on their childhood.
Absolutely cool. You know, I think, I was telling you, I think my boys at home have a $1 million collection of Hot Wheels. They just can't get enough of those little cars.
Our kids have a lot too. I wonder if he would, I could just give my Hot Wheels to the kids to trade with him.
Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad idea.
Nah, he doesn't have to trade with me. He can trade with the boys. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
They would love that.
Oh, I think they would, absolutely. Well, we've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. The Carthage School Board met Monday night to discuss a bond proposal that's similar to one that's been on the ballot before. The $18 million bond would go towards funding a performing arts center and a baseball field. If approved, it would continue the current tax rate through 2040. Bond issue will also be on the April ballot. A new mental health program offering quick access is coming to Southeast Kansas. Crawford County Mental Health is announcing the launch of its new same-day access program. It'll be a new method of accessibility for services where the Mental Health Center offers intake assessments on the same day without a scheduling delay or wait list. They say it should result in quicker access to services and the elimination of no-shows for assessments. The same-day access program officially starts March 20th. Fort Scott National Historic Site is hosting the 30th Annual National Junior Duck Stamp Art Contest. During the program, participants will learn more about types of waterfowl and what judges look for in the artwork. Participants will create original artwork using watercolors, crayon, or pencil.
Well, we've got ourselves some gusty winds today, 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts, not uncommon. And then as we head into late tonight, say around midnight, 1 a.m., a scattered storm or two possible. And then we'll see a bigger line of thunderstorms begin to develop across southeast Kansas at around, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So right during the KOAM morning news, we'll be watching these storms develop, and they'll continue to roll through the area. And when we make the switch over here to Fox 14, we'll see the leading edge of these strong storms from Osceola, Lamar, Joplin, Miami, down to Afton and Grove. And we will track these storms through the morning because there is the potential of these storms becoming strong to severe. We do have an elevated risk for those highlighted in yellow for the storms tomorrow morning. Damaging straight line winds are the primary risk, although an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. Now that threat is relatively low right now, but it's not zero, so we will keep an eye on that for you. Right now, clouds continuing to build across the region. 41 in Joplin with those clouds building in. Across the region, we're looking at temperatures like this: 36 Iola, 42 Parsons, 37 Miami, 41 in Neosho. And as you get your day started, wind gusts increase. We'll see clouds, mostly cloudy skies throughout the morning, and up to 54 by 11 o'clock. We'll take another look at your forecast here in a few minutes. Tanya?
All right, well, people living in East Palestine, Ohio are calling it a good first step. The state will open a health clinic Tuesday for anyone concerned about their exposure following a toxic train wreck earlier this month. This as several federal agencies send teams to the area. Gloria Pazmino reports.
Illness.
I had a headache for about 8 hours and got sick after that.
And anxiety.
With 2 young children, I don't want to expose them to that.
More than 2 weeks after a Norfolk Southern freight train derailed, unleashing plumes of black smoke and contaminating the soil, residents remain on edge.
We have to look at the health impacts to our vulnerable populations.
Ben Ratner lives in East Palestine. He says he's happy to see a health clinic opening Tuesday to address the growing health concerns.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go there, especially early on, and get things checked out. Also go to your private doctor and get checked out.
But he's still frustrated with the response.
I do want to remind everybody that this accident happened on the 3rd of February. We're just now getting, regular briefings. We're just now getting the federal government involved. The state is still not declaring it a disaster.
Governor Mike DeWine says the crash does not qualify for federal disaster declaration, but is asking the U.S. government for help.
We've asked for medical experts from the United States Department of Health and Human Services to come to East Palestine.
Those teams are expected on the ground this week, along with experts from the CDC. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Michael Regan is also headed back to East Palestine Tuesday to meet with residents. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Our favorite Tuesday morning cook, Charlene Patton, is stopping by the studio with a quick and easy recipe for apricot scones that you and your family don't want to miss.
And we are tracking showers and thunderstorms as we head into our Wednesday morning. We'll have the latest on your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Charlene Patton, our good friend from the Kansas Soybean Commission. Welcome back to the show. Got another exciting, delicious recipe for us. So what have we got going for us today?
Well, it's Bake for Family Fun Month, so I wanted to do some recipes that you really could involve everyone in your family depending on what age they are. Use a big bowl when you're working with little children, but golly, and I've got measurements here and spoons and things, but when they're baking in the kitchen, you're a dad, you're teaching your kids skills that they can use their whole life long.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people forget when you're working in the kitchen, you're using measuring, you're using math skills, you're using sequencing because we're getting everything in order. We're reading and writing and making choices with ingredients. So it's great to give our kids those skills.
Yeah, we don't really think about that when we're cooking, but
We don't.
that is some great skills to learn.
So we're making these apricot scones. I've got our flour in here. You're going to add our sugar. Give us a little bit of sweetness. Go ahead. Yep. And then you can go ahead and add that next ingredient, which is our baking powder and salt. Yep. Great. And then I'm gonna, I don't think I gave you a little scraper, so I'll go ahead and add that.
Oh, it's hiding.
Oh,
it was hiding.
Okay, great. This is a pastry blender, and if you don't have one, you could use 2 knives, you could use a fork, but we want to get this nice and crumbly because that's going to help make our scones nice and tender and rich. So if I was at home, Chris, I would do this a little bit more, but I know we have the time element here, so we're going to go ahead and kind of add the rest of the ingredients, but just know you want to make that nice and crumbly. And we've got some crumbles in there, but it'd be good to get a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to scrape that off. You're going to add our dried apricots. And I like to add them now because they kind of will be coated with our flour. There we go, see, there. Can hardly see them. And then you're going to start adding our other ingredients. We have 1 egg we're going to add. And now you're going to get to use that little scraper because we have soy sour cream there. And that is 1/4 cup, I think, of the soy sour cream. Put that in there. And then you'll also give me some milk over there. And that is a vanilla soy beverage. So it's vanilla because it adds a little bit more of our flavor that we want in our scones. So now we would stir this until we didn't see any more flour. And then we would take it out and knead it just a little bit to shape it. And here's what you would have then. Roll it out till it's about a 6-inch circle there to make it. And then the kids will love using this.
Of course.
We're going to make our scones, and you can use the pizza cutter, just does it really well. And then, guys, divide it into 6 scones. So just use that cutter and cut that like that. These are going to bake at 400 degrees. You would put these on a baking sheet, just like that. And I like to just sprinkle just a little bit of sugar, just about at the top. But bake those at 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. And then I also serve them with a little bit of apricot jam. And that just makes a delicious, every bite you'll have the dried apricots in, and just a delicious snack.
Absolutely. Charlene, thank you so much. And real quick, for recipe information, where can they go?
Go to kansassoybeans.org or call our 800 number 877-KS-SOYBEAN.
All right, Charlene, thank you. And of course, all this information at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, we are watching some shower and thunderstorm activity. We've also got the gusty winds today. We're talking 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts throughout today, into tomorrow, and into Thursday as well. About midnight, 1 a.m., a few isolated to scattered showers and storms possible. And then as we head into Wednesday morning, say around 4 or 5 o'clock, we're looking at more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity developing across southeast Kansas. And as we go through tomorrow morning, that will continue to roll off to the east. And this is by 7 a.m., still dealing with the leading edge of some stronger storms out here from Osceola, Lamar, Joplin, Miami, Afton, and Grove. And then that'll start to kick out. Now on the backside, we still have a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, and there could be some additional thunderstorm development tomorrow afternoon, but that'll be all right. Once that clears out, look at this. We're still mild, still very breezy. Our temperatures don't start to fall until late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Now, we do have an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms for the areas highlighted in yellow as we head into tomorrow. Now, the primary threat here is looking to be damaging straight line winds. However, there is the possibility of an isolated tornado or two. Now, the tornado risk is fairly low right now, but it's not zero. And this will all be happening throughout the KOAM morning news, so we'll keep an eye on that for you as the morning progresses. Here's what we've got. 41 in Joplin. We've got the clouds building in. The wind is calm for the time being. We're looking at 37 Iola, 39 Miami, 41 Neosho, and 37 in Lamar. We get our day started. Mostly cloudy skies, gusty winds up to 54 by 11 o'clock. Looking at highs right around 65. Some of us might even make it into the upper 60s. Breezy, mostly cloudy as we head into this evening. An early low of like 4 or 5 o'clock of 57. Temperatures start to warm as we go through the evening, up to 63 by 10 o'clock. We're up to 68 tomorrow, down to 34 tomorrow night after the storms. 40s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, back to 60 Sunday, and then back down into the 40s Monday with maybe a rain and light wintry mix possibility. That's a check of the forecast. Here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
Right, well, Samsung launched its Galaxy S23 phone on Friday. The company says pre-orders for the latest flagship device in the Galaxy series were higher than the previous two iterations. Samsung is promoting a new security feature it says can stop a malicious image sent by text message from compromising the phone. The S23 also comes with a fancier camera, faster processor, and all the upgrades you would expect in a new smartphone. More than 300,000 Starbucks vanilla Frappuccino bottles are being recalled because they might contain glass. We told you this yesterday. The drinks are 13.7-ounce vanilla Frappuccinos with the expiration dates of March 8th, May 29th, June 4th, and 10th. Distributor PepsiCo has issued the warning to retailers and consumers. The Food and Drug Administration says the recall began January 28th and is ongoing. Well, if you're a dog owner, you may have used a walker to help your four-legged friend get plenty of exercise. But as Michael George explains, trying to find a dog walker these days isn't exactly a walk in the park.
9-year-old Lacey needs plenty of outdoor time, and her owner, Eric Mendez, trusts his dog walker to make sure she gets it.
I wanted to make sure that she was taken out at least 30 to 40 minutes during the day so that, she gets a lot of that anxiety out, has something to do during the day.
But Mendez is finding demand for dog walkers has skyrocketed. Part of that has to do with the pandemic. An ASPCA survey found close to 1 in 5 American families adopted a pet in 2020 and early 2021. That's 23 million households. And with that increased demand comes higher prices. $630 a month?
A month. It was $500. And shortly after the pandemic took off, they raised prices to $630.
The New York Times even reports one walker in New York makes 6 figures, though that's far from typical.
This is Mr. Theo, or Theo for short. He is legally the cutest dog in New York City.
Violet Blyden is the owner of Bear Paws, a dog walking service. She says higher prices have more to do with inflation.
Everything has gotten more expensive. We're paying $8 for eggs. Dog walkers also kind of have to be able to afford New York City.
She also says work from home is winding down for many humans, and they're calling her.
I think it has a lot more people going back to work than it has to do with more dogs. People just need us more.
If you're hiring a walker, experts say do your research first, ask for references, and set up a meet and greet. After all, it's an investment in someone you trust to keep your pup healthy and happy. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, the American Pet Products Association reports Americans spend $9.5 billion a year on walkers, pet sitters, groomers, and insurance. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. A One Teens app is helping other kids get involved in their community.
Fox's Steve Nielsen has more.
She goes through the stones meant to have an impact.
We were going to give them to seniors so they just feel happy because so we painted them.
A local kid and a volunteer wanting to make her community better.
Words like you matter. And there's this bundle.
These are positive messages for the families of patients, and we've already given many to Hospice of the Valley, and these are just our current supply.
This is all thanks to Molly. The Valley teen shows us the site she coded herself.
So in the front is where all of the hours get accumulated.
My Wish for My Community got started after Fox 10 first told you about Molly in 2021. Molly collected blankets for the homeless and realized there were too many barriers preventing teens from volunteering.
So many kids out there that really want to volunteer, they just don't know how. They don't know where to get started. They don't have the resources.
The app allows kids to find volunteering opportunities and track hours, a way for cards like this to end up in a senior citizen's hand.
It's just mainly there to provide a simple resource, one-way access to getting volunteer hours, getting involved, and making a difference.
Molly's app was congressionally recognized and received the President's Volunteer Service Award. It allowed teen pianist Hong Tam La to connect her skills to her community.
Help them have a peace of mind. Maybe they're having a hard day and hopefully my music can help soothe them.
It grew so much so fast, she now has a board to help oversee the nonprofit.
I'm incredibly proud of Molly evolving from very basic idea to this full-fledged nonprofit organization, and all of that achieved at the age of 16.
One person does one thing and it leads to a ripple effect of so many other things. I started with the blanket drive. A couple people saw, but now it has grown to an established organization.
Absolutely incredible. Great story there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a lot of great work with that app.
Definitely getting kids involved.
Absolutely. We will be right back with more, but first, let's take a look at that forecast. We have talked about the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms heading into tomorrow. Now, for the rest of today, we're at 41 in Joplin, cloudy skies or mostly cloudy skies. Across the area, temperatures look like this: 37 Iola, 42 Parsons, 41 Neosho, and 41 in Carthage. As we go through the rest of the morning, temperatures, of course, warming up. We're going to make it up to 54 by 11. Mostly cloudy skies and winds gusting 20, 30 miles an hour, and those wind gusts will continue as we head through tonight, tomorrow night, and into Thursday. Up to 65 for a high, breezy, mostly cloudy, and some of us might even make it into the upper 60s. And here's the fun part. We've hit early overnight lows, but they're usually early at like between 8 and 10 o'clock. This case, this early low is going to happen about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then temperatures are going to turn around and slowly start to warm up as we head through the rest of the evening, making it back up to 63 by 10. Now, we've got the showers and thunderstorms tomorrow morning. We'll be tracking those through the mornings as they're actually anticipated to be in our area during the duration of the KOAM morning news. So we'll have live updates as those storms come through, should any of them decide to get a little on the nasty side. We're up to 68 tomorrow, 34 very early Thursday morning, 42 for the high then, 47 Friday, some evening showers possible, 49 Saturday, more evening showers possible, Sunday making it up to 60, some morning showers. Chance of a rain winter mix on Monday, 46. After that, though, we start to warm up a wee bit again, back up into the 60s by next Wednesday, with more rain chances on the way. We are back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. On Monday, some area first responders gathered at Downstream Casino for the annual Guardians Conference. Guardians Conference is an event where experts in the emergency response field meet and share their expertise in their fields. Classes will be held with topics ranging from burns to cardiac events and farm accidents. Carthage School Board met Monday night to discuss a bond proposal that's similar to one that's been on the ballot before. The $18 million bond would go towards funding a performing arts center and a baseball field. If approved, it would continue the current tax rate through 2040. Bond issue will also be on the April ballot. And the Quapaw Nation yesterday hosted a STEAM fair to encourage local youth to engage in education. Officials with the nation want to celebrate and encourage students to enter and participate in the fields of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Participants from several area tribes participated and showed their peers their research or presentation.
We got gusty winds today pushing 20, 30 miles an hour. High of about 65. Mostly cloudy skies. It'll be mostly cloudy heading into the evening. An early low of 57. We're talking like 4 or 5 o'clock outside of this thing's range. And then we start to warm up to 63 by 10 o'clock. Watching the possibility of showers and thunderstorms early tomorrow morning. Some of those could be strong to severe. We'll keep an eye on them for you. Colder after that, in the 40s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Back up to 60 on Sunday. And then maybe a wintry mix on Monday and a high of 46.
Well, a first generation 2007 iPhone sold for more than $63,000 in an online auction on Sunday.
That's more than 100 times its original cost of $599, and the box had never been opened.
Wow, the original iPhone offered early Apple adopters a 3.5-inch screen with a 2-megapixel camera plus 4 or 8 gigabyte storage options. My mom used this phone until like 2 months ago, I think. It also offered internet capabilities and iTunes. It had no app store, ran on a 2G network, and was exclusive to AT&T's network.
I do remember that coming out. Bidding on this phone started earlier this month at $2,500. Absolutely incredible.
She finally upgraded to like a 6th generation one or something.
Well, all right. Well, thanks so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.